Today we're going to be making potato and cauliflower gratin, two of the biggest food waste products that there is, unfortunately. So I'm going to be just showing you a wee simple way how to use up these products that are unfortunately getting dumped on a massive scale. To do this dish, what I'm going to be using is cauliflower. 2 heads of cauliflower. I'm going to be using roughly about 6 potatoes, depending on the size, onion, garlic, bay leaf, and that's it. Very, very simple. And some milk, butter and flour then for making the roux, which is going to thicken that up. And the reason I chose these items is simply because they're one of the highest wasted products in any kitchen. So it's just to show you something that's very simply done, very easily prepped under the oven for about an hour. And then what we'll do then is take it off, get a nice bit of colour on it, and then that's basically going to be it. So we get all our florets on there like that. You want that wee bit of bite, that wee bit of texture. And then we've got 1 onion, and we're going to split that in half. So I'm just going to cut this down nice and thin. And it's such a simple dish. It's literally just everything going into one bowl. And then what we're going to do is make a nice roux. You can flavour your roux up whichever way you prefer. We're just going to do it with butter, some milk, some flour to thicken it up, and some cheese. So your potato, we'll cut that down like so. When I was asked to do this, I was actually shocked at just the amount of food wastage. Obviously, being a chef, you're aware, but having digged into it a wee bit more, I was shocked that they find out like 1/3 of the food produced in the world it's actually binned. So that obviously has a massive impact on the environment and the greenhouse gases, because to get rid of all that food burns up so much energy. Actually, read it takes up more energy than the aviation industry, so that's pretty a shocking statistic. Something that's opened my eyes and something that I'm definitely going to look at improving when I get back to the restaurant. So that should be enough. I'll just crush your garlic down. I'm going to keep the skin and all on as well, and that's that. And what we'll do now is we're going to make the roux, which is going to become the sauce, and then we're going to bake that in the oven. Right, so next stage is our roux. So first things first, about 75 grams of butter. I'm going to add on, I've weighed out the same amount of flour, which is going to go on. I'm going to add the milk in, and then we're going to add some of the cheddar cheese in. We'll season it up, a couple of bay leaves, and just keep a wee eye on it too. You want to just make sure you're whisking that, you don't want that catching on you. Okay, so in we go. And just let that simmer away now until it thickens up on you. Another little bit of salt, and another little bit of black pepper, and a wee bit of crushed garlic. Okay, so in we go. Right, so what's happening now is your milk, your butter, your flours all come together. So it's actually getting quite thick, so don't be panicking if it's getting quite thick. Just basically an extra splash of milk, and that'll loosen it all up for you. You want a bit of body to it, you want a bit of thickness to it, but you don't want it too thin, you don't want it too thick. So that's more or less it ready. This is completely optional. Usually we all have a bit of cheese knocking around in the fridge wrapped up in cling film that probably won't get used, so you can put this in. So I'm going to put half in now in the sauce, and then what I'm going to do is towards the end I'm going to put the other half in on top just to get that nice bit of caramelization and colour. And there we go. And you want enough so that it basically covers the entire tray. This is a fairly big tray. Obviously, if you're using a smaller tray, or it's just for yourself, or it's just for 2 people, use obviously something a good bit smaller. On top now with your greaseproof paper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double tin foil it. That'll allow it to steam within itself, make it really moist and without colouring it too much, because you're going to keep it on there for an hour. Last 10, maybe 15 minutes, we can take these off, and that's where you get all that nice colour. And we'll add a bit more cheese just to get that nice colour. Look, after about 10 minutes, that's your cheese. You can see that all get lovely and caramelised. So that's your potato and cauliflower gratin.